And okay, well, thank you, co-chairs of the Clintonville GreenSpot Committee. And I did send you a preliminary context to this one-on-one, on-one, or two-on-one, and a copy of the Area Commission Technology Enhancement Program application. And the purpose of this meeting is just to engage you as committee chairs to ensure that, because I really don't know how, I don't think anybody has this in their playbook, but we just don't know how COVID-19, how long this is going to last. And so this is a grant, just a nice little, hey, area commission, we're going to give you some money. And how often does that happen from the city of Columbus? So we want to be able to leverage this grant that is by application process that's due on November 30th. And I just want to see how I can apply and have you benefit from this. So hopefully you've previewed the application in the context of the email that I sent to you earlier. Have you guys even had a chance to review the application?
I looked at it a bit. It
Okay.
Looks like there's some different items on there. Kind of the work from home sort of thing, with the exception of some of them. But technology stuff, right?
Yeah, just technology stuff. So so basically what I'm trying to do is just bolster our position and be able to say, this is what we have working for us. This is what would create ease for us in the future. And, you know, and we would be a careful and cautious steward of this technology moving forward. So basically, I'd like to hear how it could benefit the GreenSpot committee and how we might be able to, you know, leverage this to engage the community, to maybe generate interest or enthusiasm and new members when the time comes. Just think along those lines.
Sure. Unless you want to go first, Zach, I'll.
No, go ahead, Ryan.
Okay. After looking at the list of items on page 3, I guess my first thought was our committee, and what would be most useful to get to some of your questions about how we engage folks. It's a number of different ways. COVID-19 has changed all of our usual get along. In the past, since the beginning of the committee, we've met periodically in person, done a lot of things by email, thrown different events, participated in or just supported in other community events. And for all those things that I just described, most folks, even before the pandemic, who were in a position of like making a presentation at a meeting or doing things by email or what have you, almost everybody's got a computer, laptop, things like that. And I can't really see a lot of need, for that. But one thing that might be pretty good would be a projector. Just because it could be used at a lot of different kinds of things. The first thing that comes to mind is the rec center at Whetstone, which is where a lot of our meetings have been held in the past. Sometimes it's at a church. At all cases, they're generously offering their space, and you can get things like we had a transparency projector once on loan from the rec center for the hour or two.
They still have those?
Yeah, I was like, wow. Haven't seen one since maybe 6th grade. But anyway, if we had our own projector at the CAC and could just pick it up for the meeting or whatever, that would be great. We could even use a projector at some of our events. If you just think outside the box a little bit, which we do frequently with GreenSpot. We could play movies at an event. We could just support another organization that maybe doesn't have a projector, things like that. So that's the one item that not everybody has. And it's kind of a big ticket item, so that's why a lot of people don't have them. It's on the list, and
Okay.
so that seems like a good one to me.
Okay. All right. And so far as uh, I mean, we are pretty lucky. I mean, whenever I go to these, whenever I attend to these citywide area commissioner or, leadership events, and I think about Clintonville, I think about, just how lucky we are. And, and that we have interest in our area commission. We have interest in our committees. And we have a lot of community activists here, and we're fortunate enough to where we're not really scrambling for ease of technology. We have, it's we're very fortunate, but not every area commission is as lucky as we are. So I just I wanted to just perform some due diligence here and reach out to you guys. And Zach, do you have anything you'd like to offer?
No, when Ryan and I were chatting about this on email back and forth, what he put, communicated was pretty much what we were both thinking.
Okay. All right. So everybody I've met with so far has mentioned projector and projection screen. So I think that there's a lot of people who are on that same wavelength. And they were like, well, it would be really great if we could have a mobile hotspot too. And that's not on here, but it might be something that we might be able to work into the CAC's budget. But yeah, I think having meetings outdoors, if we are still subscribing to COVID-19 protocol come springtime, and we want to have in-person meetings again, we'll be looking at probably outdoor venues like shelter houses at Whetstone. And, I think it might be a worthwhile venture to pursue that overhead projector on the screen. You guys feel pretty well equipped with using the CAC's Tech and PR committee, Ty Holbert. You feel pretty comfortable in scheduling your events and reaching out to him to help get the word out, using our socials and website to help generate interest. Like when you had your cleanup most recently, did you reach out to the CAC chair Ty Holbert at all to help get the word out?
No, but we're pretty new still.
Yeah, you are.
New committee
You are.
chairs, and
Yeah.
understanding all the resources of the CAC is still new to us. So that would be interesting just to know what all's available.
Yeah. So go ahead.
For that event, we have our own Facebook group,
Mm-hmm.
and someone on our committee works on that real hard and puts a lot of fun into that page and engages people that way. So
Okay.
we went with that method. I didn't even
There's
know
nothing wrong with that.
CAC. Okay, cool. I didn't know CAC had a Facebook page actually.
Well, so this is probably the unintended consequence of having these one-on-ones, is that I'm able to kind of maybe just having this touch base and having this conversation will kind of help kind of help in helping fill those voids of information. So we do have 6 standing committees, one of which is the Tech and PR Committee, which is chaired by Ty Holbert. And we have Facebook page, the CAC website with an events calendar on the CAC website. We have Twitter, and we try to cross-post as much as we can, just so that people so that people are engaged, so that we can continue to let people know that Clintonville GreenSpot is a faction of the CAC, and does encourage and welcome community participation. And so we just want to make sure that they know that your meetings, since you are a standing committee of the CAC, all meetings are open to the public. And in times of COVID, if you were to ever have a meeting, I would simply schedule that for you. I would be your gopher. I would set it up, I would schedule it, I would put it on the CAC calendar for you, and then I would get it set up in Zoom for you and let you host the meeting, and I just kind of exit stage left and maybe maybe watch it on our YouTube channel. So we also have a YouTube channel, and I got the domain name Channel Clintonville. So, you know, we can post any kind of videos. You can have your own part of the dashboard that helps keep, that would be a really nice file retention for any videos or audio files that you would have. But take a look at the YouTube channel. We've got, you know, it's just something that I just recently created in the last couple of months. So we're still trying to get the word out. But, you know, I think that would be a great living archive for all of the stuff that you do. So if you took any videos of your cleanup and you just had a couple of files that you wanted to send to me, you could just send them to my email, or you could share them via Google Drive, or I would just share with you the password information to the YouTube channel, or the YouTube page, so that you could upload the file yourself, you know, whatever. So I just wanted to make sure that you're aware and that we do everything that we can to make the community aware of all your good work, because the GreenSpot committee is one of the newest, but it's probably the one with the most enthusiasm and the most energy. So I really like what you guys are doing. I love the people in it. It's just such a breath of fresh air, and it's uncharted territory. So you can make it what you want, but in order to continue that momentum and that trajectory and keep the enthusiasm alive, we want to make sure to always be engaging the community, and let them know all of the good work that you do.
Thanks. Well, about this discussion, I think that projector will come in handy in the future, not right away, hopefully next year. But of all the items, it has the most value easily. And so thanks for that. Look forward to using it at some point.
Okay, all right. Do you have any other kind of needs from me? Anything that I can do to help? I know that you're still new in the position, but if there's, you know, anything that I can do to help create ease, to, you know, help you sustain and perform continuity of your committee's business, just always know that I'm here.
Great. I did want to tell you one last thing, which is there's some seasonality to sustainability work. When it starts getting cold out and the holidays come, a lot of times it just takes a back burner to the rest of everything else going on. Mm-hmm. So this is an exceptional year. You know, it's tough to, a lot of the events we usually do are either drastically changed, canceled, or you just simply can't do them. So I just wanted you to know that it's still going to be slow because of the state of the world right now, and we'll do what we can and keep some active events going. But it's probably looking like when the spring comes back is really, I think, when a lot of people will pick up hopefully their volunteering activities and things like that.
I do have a question, and this is kind of this might be a far reach, but I did want to reach out to you guys to see if you, and it takes some, this month's November CAC meeting, again, we're having the urban deer conversation, where where there's just a lot of people are complaining about the abundance of urban deer. I think we've experienced a little bit of a population boom. COVID-19 with kind of the, people working from home, maybe people are taking notice of them more. Maybe there's just less traffic and less motoring out there, and they feel a little bit less inhibited coming out of the woods, coming out of the ravines, coming out of the woodlands. Maybe they just feel, like they're coming out more often. I'm not sure whatever reason it is, but I find it laughable at times, but people complain because the deer eat their hostas or the deer are, whatever. So I thought maybe I would reach out to the GreenSpot committee and see if they could put together a list of botanicals and landscape treatments that deer don't like, and that I know that the GreenSpot committee, there's with the tree planting and that kind of thing, there's just a lot of people in that committee who really know lawn and garden kind of items. And I do know that there's things that you can plant and incorporate into one's landscape that repel deer, that deer are repulsed by. But I thought maybe I would just throw that out there if you have a, because I know that Suzanne and Julie and all of them are just, they're garden geeks, well, Suzanne is a garden sage, but I think that it would just be a really good conversation to say, hey, while we're marking time with all of the GreenSpot initiatives, might we be able just to kind of, make this back burner work that, nobody says you have to do it. Nobody is attaching a timeline and saying that you must have this done by this and this date. But I think it just might be a nice touch base with your committee to say, hey, in the next couple of months before the spring planting season comes around, the chair of the CAC would like us to try to formulate a list of stuff to plant in the landscape, whether it's annuals or perennials, stuff that deer don't like, just give nice tips, because the mayor has already made his statement that he doesn't want to do anything so far as thinning the herd or anything. And people in my district, they are not bothered by the deer. They enjoy the deer, but we're not, we have a little bit larger backyards, a little bit more space. We're not as densely, we have a little bit more space up here in District 9, and we've got the Bill Moose Ravine, and people love to see the deer. And, we don't have a lot of pass-through streets like East North Broadway does, where deer are getting hit. And so they don't pose a threat to us like other areas of Clintonville. So it's a little bit difficult for me to have that conversation with my constituents because they like them. But there are other districts that are bothered and find them to be a nuisance. So I think in order to, it might be a worthwhile conversation to maybe round up some ideas from your committee to say, hey, what are some landscape treatments that we can incorporate or recommend or have a recommendation list for Clintonville residents who don't want to attract the deer? Does that make sense?
Sure. We'll put that on our
on your B list.
on our agenda next time we meet. The reason is because that item, like the seasonality I mentioned of the people that are engaged, that's really more a springtime item anyways. So
Yeah.
For now, there's not much to do in terms of planting or anything like that. So,
well, it's just a food for thought, just to try to help, satiate or, some of the, not really pacify, but to help address the community's concerns.
Sure.
So anyway.
Yeah, it comes up a lot.
I know.
So it's one of those things that once we get a nice a nice list of recommendations for that, for people who just don't want to plant a garden and then see it eaten by deer, because it does seem to happen every single year. I see complaints about it every year.
Yeah.
But so once we have those recommendations, they're pretty canned because there's not going to be a lot of changes to those recommendations. So that's something we can put out in the spring.
That'd be really, that would be a really wonderful response by the CAC, I think. So, well, anything else that you'd like to bring into discussion for me or about the application or anything else while you have me?
I think that's it for tonight.
Yeah, what I'll say, BJ, is appreciate you setting this up. You know, as Ryan mentioned, you know, this is we're just getting into things, and I even have more spots, maybe a lot more spots than Ryan does. But appreciate you know, all the information in terms of the resources sort of, you know, at our disposal. You know, having that information in that context will be super helpful as Ryan and I really finalize our 2021 and beyond strategy for the group. So really appreciate all that insight, and because I was aware of very little of that myself. So really appreciate that, and the, you know, the continued opportunity to engage you and get your feedback on things and insight moving forward.
Well, that's what I'm here for. And when you are ready to resume your meetings and you want to schedule one on Zoom, consider me your meeting gopher, and I'll get it set up for you and enable one of you guys to be the chair to facilitate that meeting. All you have to do is send me an email. Okay?
Great.
Thanks a lot.
Fantastic. Thanks, guys. Have a good evening.
Thanks, BJ. Take care.